USA Today's Nancy Armour had some choice words for LaVar after he pulled his 16-year-old son LaMelo out of Chino Hills High School, ultimately because he's not a fan of the basketball coach. She wrote, "The Ball kids are talented, no question, and their father has made them a nationwide brand. But there's more to life than basketball, and there's more to them than basketball. Staying at his high school isn't going to diminish LaMelo's talent as a player. The same cannot be said for his development as a person." Will Cain, Damien Woody still here with us. Stephen A., I'll start with you on this one. Do you agree with Nancy Armour?
Absolutely not. Emphatically disagree with her. I respect her work. I respect the work that both her and Christine Brennan does. This is just about this particular article. Let me emphasize that. The reason why I emphatically disagree with her is because of the examples that she used. She brought up Todd Marinovich and what he went through because of his father, Marv, and how fixated he was on his son. So he monitored everything about his son, brought in specialists, had him through a regimented training program, and, you know, since birth, for crying out loud. Last time I checked, LaMelo was 16 years old. So he's been going to elementary, junior high school, and high school. And so because of this particular coach at this particular program, you know, with his son having a year or two left in the high school level, he's decided to go this route. Now, you can disagree or agree with that all you want to. I actually kind of disagree with it. I don't think it's the wisest move to make, and I certainly am on the record saying that I don't like the way that LaVar Ball has called out the administration or the coach. But the title here is, it's official. Ball is the worst sports parent. Are you kidding me? The worst? Todd Marinovich had a drug problem. Any problem with Lonzo? Any problem with LaMelo? I'm not sure about that. I haven't heard anything like that. Your son's the #2 player in the NBA draft, #2 overall pick. Let's also take into account the fact that no one has ever said anything about these kids in terms of the way that they conduct themselves, how professional they go about trying to do what it is that they want to do. He might be a bit obnoxious. It's not ideal, and I'm certainly not here to try to defend all the antics of LaVar Ball and the eccentric nature that he has displayed, and clearly he's about marketing himself and his kids and trying to maximize whatever it is that's out there. But in the end, to call him this, I believe is excessive. It's beyond the pale, and it was...
Well, you also don't have...
A lot of people would kill to have a father.
You also don't have the evidence yet. I mean, really what we're saying is time will tell. You know why? It always does. And the jury's still out. Now, is it impossible for me to imagine a 30 for 30 one day and one of the Ball kids or a couple of them saying, "Oh, my father was overbearing"? That's not impossible for me to imagine, right? I mean, it's not impossible. But so far, so good, actually, with the Ball kids from everything we know. And furthermore, it seems to me that LaVar's basic disposition is, let's see how this all shakes out. You raise your kids your way, I'll raise my kids my way, and let's see how it all shakes out in the end. Furthermore, your values don't have to line up precisely with mine. We can disagree about real important values to us in fundamental ways and still respect another parent's right to raise their kids the way they see fit. So on philosophically, I disagree, and I also don't think the evidence points to it.
I like both of your conclusions. I just don't like your arguments whatsoever. Let me tell you what I mean by that. The worst sports parents, by the way, are the ones that, first of all, in my ranking of worst sports parents, are the ones that never go about acknowledging their kids, who don't actually parent their kids. Your rebuttal could be, they're not actually sports dads, or they're not actually sports parents. They're just fathers. They just created this human being. That's the #1. And by the way, there are sports examples of that left and right. That's the #1.
You mean
culture.
abandoning the children, essentially?
Not being a part of their life.
Right.
Yes. In some cases, that's even worse. Not even acknowledging their existence or denying their existence. And it's not hard to come up with those examples. So that's #1 on my list.
100%.
#2 are those that actually steal from their kids. Unfortunately, I believe that Bernie Kosar, for an example, has had this situation where his dad helped manage his career and ended up actually stealing from the money he made in his career. So that would be #2. But #3, now, Stephen A., this is where I disagree with you. Are these people that engineer their children to be professional athletes to a what's the word we're going to have to search for here? Detrimental, dangerous way. You point out that Marv Marinovich engineered Todd by what he ate, the specialists he brought in to train them, the age he started. The truth is, it looks like LaVar is doing all the same things on that front. Maybe it will turn out differently. Maybe they won't have drug problems the way that Todd Marinovich has. But that's where I come to a problem with you. You don't reverse engineer it. You don't go, let's just see if this all works out. Because, I mean,
but timing matters, because I brought it up that LaMelo's 16 years of age. In other words, it doesn't.
But that would have kept you.
It doesn't compare to somebody like Marv Marinovich was doing from the time the kid was born.
Well, you don't.
See what I'm saying?
When did LaVar start with LaMelo?
Well, I'm just saying,
he married his mom so that he knew that he would produce professional athletes. His best chance.
Yeah, but LaMelo has been in high school. Lonzo has been in high school. In other words, they've fraternized with kids. They've had a reasonable upbringing.
I don't
want Will to misunderstand what I'm saying either. I'm not saying that the ends justify the means. What I'm saying is we're trying to extrapolate from what we understand of them publicly the way he's raising them at home. It is possible to bring in nutritionists and do all those kind of things for your kids and also have them know you love them, spend time with them, impart important values to them. Those two ideas are not mutually exclusive. So hold on one second. Let me just finish the thought. So that when I say, let's see how it all shakes out, I mean as a reflection of the overall way in which they were raised. That we can't simply assume that because he wants them to be professional ball players, he's leaving out other important stuff.
I think the other important detail to me I just wanted to quickly mention is LaMelo good with this? Is he on board with it? Because that's a huge factor in this as well.